May I come in, sir?
Yes, please do.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, ma'am. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Please take your seat.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Abdul.
Sir.
So, Abdul, are you vaccinated?
Yes, sir.
Both doses?
Yes, sir.
And you're not having any symptoms right now?
No, sir.
In that case, I'll advise you to please remove your mask.
Sure, sir.
Fine, Abdul. Introduce yourself.
Sir, I am from Vijayawada in Andhra Pradesh. I was born and brought up there, and I did my schooling from there. I have an elder sister, and both my parents work in the government in the state agriculture department. By education, I have done BTech in civil engineering and masters in transportation engineering. By profession, I have worked at Nabard for about 2 years, and particularly I have worked in the areas of Rural Infrastructure Development Fund, RIDF, and SHG digitization, as well as Tribal Development Fund. And by aspiration, I want to be a civil servant and make a difference in the lives of people.
So, you were working with Nabard and you were active in rural development?
Sir.
So, why you left the job?
Sir, I had worked over 2 years at Nabard, sir, and I was very enthusiastic about the work too. In the first year itself, I was given the best performer over there. However, with the time, I got busy with the responsibilities and work over there. So I decided to leave the job and do preparation for the civil services exam, as the options for leave or EOL were not available to me.
So the kind of work you were doing was influential, while it was bringing changes in the life of the people.
Yes, sir.
So isn't it very selfish of you to leave that job in between to pursue something which you may or may not get?
Sir, the idea why I want to, if you're asking that why I want to shift from Nabard to civil services, where I also have the opportunities here, my main motive is that while working in civil services, I see that I will have a position in a driver's seat and be at the helm of many things. Whereas at Nabard, my position was limited to, say, financing of infrastructure or like an individual component. So to go into a bigger platform and to work in a more diverse area at a more grassroots level, that was the main motivation of this particular decision, sir.
You've taken mathematics as your option.
Yes, sir.
Tell me, how mathematics can be used once you are into this helm of the affairs, as you said?
Sir, there are direct as well as indirect uses. For instance, we study about scheduling and linear programming in maths, which has many applications in, say, administration as well, about planning of existing resources, optimizing for better outcomes. On the other hand, if I say about the indirect application, the analytical approach and the logical approach in maths is, I think, will be helpful in administration. So there are both kinds of reasons.
Abdul, you're coming from Andhra Pradesh.
Right, sir.
You've declared Urdu as your mother tongue.
Yes, sir.
But when it came about the examination, you chose Hindi qualifying language.
Sir.
Neither Urdu nor Telugu. Why is it so? Why are you following what everybody else is doing?
Sir, actually, I have a very different perspective about language, because I speak Urdu, or it's more like a Dakkani or a Andhra version of Urdu at home. I speak in Telugu when I'm outside with my friends, and other languages like Hindi and English. But the main purpose why I took Hindi here was that I have done my 10th class in CBSE board, and my second language was Hindi. So since I was very comfortable in Hindi, I thought it will be better for the exam. So that is the main reason, sir.
If you look at the recent times, there have been again apprehensions by the southern states that imposition of Hindi is again, is being talked about, and they are really apprehensive about it. What's your take? Should Hindi actually be implemented as official language of the union and be made a language of communication between states?
Sir, so firstly, Hindi is already, according to Article 343, our national official language of the Union. And we also have the 8th schedule, which gives another 22 languages. So, and also 352 talks about promoting Hindi as a language. So regarding my take, sir, I believe that promoting Hindi, the main end or the idea is for a better unity and integrity of the country. So now if that comes organically and it becomes a lingua franca through say the digitized world, the media is like movies are there, songs are there, and things are going interconnected naturally. So in that approach, people are learning multiple languages. Especially in India, every individual pretty much knows at least 2 languages. So it is growing organically, and a top-down approach would seem that people will not take it or accept it, or it may be interpreted as maybe not giving adequate honor to their local languages. So it may lead to that kind of feeling. So in that perspective, I think it's better to grow organically.
Why is it so that the English is not in the 8th schedule? What is the rationale?
Sir, I'm not able to recall, sir. I had read about it, but I do not remember what it was.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Abdul, you represented India at Solar Decathlon in 2014. What was the takeaway for you?
Sir, so I had major takeaways, I would say, on 2 fronts, sir. One is technical or professionally. Second, personally, in my development of my personality. Technically, the importance of solar energy. It was a rooftop solar prototype that we built. So the importance of solar energy as well as sustainable and affordable housing was what I got exposure to, and the importance of it. On the personal front, I got to work in a team of 30 people, and we worked as a team outside India representing the country. So that was a very important moment which I had experienced.
That's nice.
Thank you.
So what is the status of solar panel and component industry in India nowadays? Where Indian industry, where solar panels and components and batteries etc. are produced stands today?
Sir, currently globally about 80% is coming from China, sir, and we are also dependent on imports for lithium ions as well as for the solar panels. So we are focusing on the production through PLI schemes for high efficiency solar panels as well as advanced chemistry cells. So it is in an expansion stage. That's how I see it, sir.
Are you in a position to give any concrete idea where are these plants located mostly, and what is the annual production of solar panels?
I will have to read about it, sir. I'm not aware.
Okay, Vietnam has expanded this industry in a very big way in a very short period of time. So much so that a huge amount of solar panels are imported in USA from Vietnam. But there is a controversy which has erupted in last 1 month in USA on import of solar panels from Vietnam. Have you read about this controversy?
No, sir, I haven't read, sir. I will see it, sir.
Fine. You worked in RIDF, Rural Infrastructure Development Fund. What is the linkages between priority sector lending and RIDF?
Sir, RIDF was brought in 1995, and the aim was to increase the rural infrastructure and the credit absorption capacity in the rural areas. The direct linkage is that under the PSL policy, whatever shortfall is there for the scheduled commercial banks from the stipulated 40% goes to the corpus of RIDF through RBI.
That's why what I wanted to know. National Family Health Survey 5 report has been out, and TFR has gone down below 2.1. In this condition, why should we raise marriage age for girls? Because that will further reduce TFR.
Sir, as per my knowledge, there are merits in raising marriage age, sir. One is that it helps to increase the labor force participation of women, sir. Currently, it is very less, around 20%. And it helps for them to complete their education, and the marriages usually happen especially in rural areas or tier 2, tier 3 cities at very earlier young ages. So in that sense, it helps for education, improving the labor force participation rate, and overall contributes to the gender equality goal of ours.
What about population management? Because
in
near future we will have to think about stabilizing population rather than reducing it.
Sir, as we are growing, as the company's per capita income is increasing, it is a natural phenomena that population will decrease, so it will stabilize. So in that sense, I think that is bound to happen, sir.
Do we have any estimate as to what is the optimum population given the amount of resources in the country?
I'm not aware, sir. I will have to read about it.
Okay. Some people are suggesting that demographic nightmare is already reflecting. Can you identify some of the examples of demographic nightmare?
Sir, the unemployment rate is high, currently about 9% or so. So that is one direct indicator of this case. Sir, anything else, sir?
This is one example.
Yes, sir.
Can you cite a couple of more examples?
Sir, we are seeing recently that there is an increase in communal cohesion is being affected in different states due to some kind of riots or that kind of event.
That appears true because large number of people are unemployed. They have no issue.
Yes, sir.
In their day-to-day lives. So it's very easy for political leaders and politicians to drag them into some kind of exciting, adventurous projects.
True, sir. I think that it provides a scope for polarizing youth more if they are unemployed rather than focused on some productive activity. So that can be one indicator that since this is a fallout of the demographic this thing.
Nightmare. Naturally, in the long run, it will affect the political stability of the country.
Yes, sir. I think it is if things continue that unemployment rises and the job creation doesn't catch up, then it will be an issue. The economic crisis, it may be economic crisis which will lead to further political instability.
As has happened in Sri Lanka.
Yes, sir. For different reasons it has happened there, but certainly that's one example of this phenomena.
Okay, Abdul. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Abdul, so you did your BTech in civil engineering and then afterwards you pursued your MSc also?
Yes, sir.
In transportation engineering.
Yes, sir.
Tell me, what are these road studs?
Sorry, sir, I am not able to understand road studs.
You've not heard about road studs?
Sorry, sir.
Have you ever not been seen on the sides of the roads, the blinkings keep happening during the night?
Okay,
so
yes,
it
sir.
gives you a direction.
Yes, sir.
Have you seen that?
Yes, sir.
So they are called road studs.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Yes.
So how many types of road studs are there?
Sir, I do not know the technically, sir, but from what I have seen, one is the reflector from our headlights of the vehicle. Other have lights inbuilt and they do not need a reflector and they help to increase the visibility.
And how probably that may have been working?
How probably, sir?
They may have been working. That is said that the lights are there. How the lights are supplied there?
They will be probably powered by batteries, sir.
Battery or solar pump?
Yes, sir. Solar powered batteries are there.
All
like street lights, solar powered batteries can be
very
supplied
nice,
there.
nice. Suggest some innovative methods, since you have a very vast experience there. Suggest some innovative methods to design the roadways in the Himalayan zones of India. Innovative methods.
Sir, since the Himalayan zones are in the high earthquake zone, the focus should be on making them resilient towards landslides and earthquakes. So for that, sir, consolidating the slopes of the road where it is laid. So usually we excavate from one side and lay on the other side, sir, in the hilly areas. So that consolidation will be very important in this. The retaining walls which are built across the roadway, that will be another important feature. And then so many roadways we see that the divider or at the edge of the roadway is not there, and it leads to, like in Andhra Pradesh we had seen in Chittoor, a bus had overturned on the hill because of that. So that can help to increase the safety of the driving.
So how can that level would be developed so that the accidents do not take place? How? What measures would you suggest here?
The level of the road, sir?
The road margin. What innovative techniques would you suggest here so that the vehicles do not turn down towards the let's say valley?
Sir, the design itself, firstly that the road width, the road curves, the speed limits, these are different factors on which we...
and anything in the context of barriers?
Yes, sir. The barrier which which
What
are
kind of
referring.
barriers would you suggest here?
We can have different materials, sir. One is if we see in some regions bamboo where it is available, we can go for bamboo in that. Otherwise, we can also go with steel. We see that in some areas, a short divider with a steel, long steel rail is there. You can go with that also.
And anything in the context of shock absorbers?
In the vehicles itself, sir?
No, on the barriers. Anything that you can think of?
Sir, in some places we see that barrels filled with water.
Yes.
And
Yes.
we have these light materials which are movable. These kind of materials are used. So that has to be that depends on the location specific specificity and if it is applicable, and certainly that should be considered, sir.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning, ma'am.
Do you understand the term mango showers?
Yes, ma'am.
What is it?
Ma'am, it is the first initial phase of the monsoon that we see in Kerala.
It is a phase of monsoon or it is a pre-monsoonal activity?
Yes, I stand corrected, ma'am. It is a pre-monsoon shower which is observed in Kerala.
Okay, and what are the reasons of such a shower?
Because Kerala is at the entrance of the monsoon winds, we see it early over there.
Okay, so it doesn't have to do anything to do with the local factor. It's just part of the monsoon. As again, I ask you the same. Are the same wind patterns determining pre-monsoon showers as monsoon?
Perhaps it's also the conventional rainfall due to heat of the summer. So that is one reason.
Actually, it is the main reason. So do we observe it in Kerala also or other states also?
There are along the states, we see in Karnataka also, and so it is there in other states also, ma'am. And as we move up, like Kal Baisakhi showers are there in Bengal, Assam region. So yes, there are others also.
Okay. Nabard recently was talking about making a farmers distress index. Have you heard about it?
No, ma'am, I have not seen the news about this.
Okay. Andhra Pradesh government has been talking about theme-based tourism circuits in your state. What possible themes and circuits could be there?
Sure, ma'am. One will be the cultural tourism can be there, ma'am. We have the Tirupati temple in Vijayawada itself, from where I am. We have the Kankadurgamma temple. So a religious circuit can be there. Then we have a Buddhist circuit. In Amravati there is a Buddhist stupa. Then there are caves near Vijayawada itself called the Mughal Rajpuram caves. So we can have that circuit. Then we have a long coastline of about 970 kilometers. So there are beach, especially in Vishakhapatnam. We have the Rushikonda beach recently got the Blue Flag certification. Then near Vijayawada, Masulipatnam beach. So that can be there. And I can go on, ma'am. There is rural tourism.
Can there be a tribal circuit? And if so, what areas would be included in it?
Sure, ma'am. Tribal circuit also is a possible circuit. We have about 7% of our population is tribal population.
So which all places would come in that circuit?
Yes, ma'am. The districts of Vijayanagaram, recently formed district of Alluri Sitaram Raju district. These are in the northern Andhra Pradesh.
So which are the important tribes here?
Ma'am, if you see, there are Yanadis, Sugalis, Konda Reddis, Konds, then Reddis, then
Okay.
yes, ma'am.
So have you observed any of these tribe in a little bit of detail, and you can make out and tell me some features which would help me identify these tribes? Any of one?
Ma'am, I have seen like the Lambadis tribe is also there in Andhra Pradesh. I had seen directly observed this tribe during my school days and all. They are into having bangles, white colored bangles on their hands as a long chain. Then
Female members?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Then they are a nomadic tribe, ma'am.
Okay.
And
so when you say nomadic, what do you mean by it? What kind of economy do they have?
Ma'am, usually they depend on collecting the minor forest produce or preparing the various artifacts, small artifacts, and selling
So where
them.
do they sell this minor forest produce? What is the procurement mechanism?
Ma'am, some we have formalized mechanisms like the Girijan society in Andhra Pradesh is like a marketing federation of tribal products. So we get like honey from them, we get other like eatable items from them. Then also we see directly tribals coming to some urban areas and selling these products directly at different places. Sometimes on the roads itself they put their small stall and sell there.
Any other minor products produced which state procures?
Ma'am, tendu leaves is there from which BD is made.
Okay. Any other thing you can think of?
That's all I can remember right now.
If I ask you in context of our foreign policy,
yes, ma'am.
How has it evolved or changed its stance in last last 10 years or so? How would you describe?
Ma'am, so one point is that we are looking at neighborhood first policy, which is giving.
So this is the first time we are doing it since last 10 years, or we are doing it from the beginning, I guess?
No, ma'am. We have a focus on this from the beginning. But in the last 10 years, we are trying to gain more goodwill there and help
So tell
them.
me some of our initiatives which you say we're trying more.
Sure, ma'am.
Strongly
Ma'am, like
there.
recently in the vaccine Maitri, we had seen many vaccines were supplied. In Maldives, when they had a water crisis, Operation Neer was conducted. Currently, Sri Lanka undergoing a crisis. We are looking at providing lines of credit for food, fuel, medicines, these kinds of supplies. So overall, we are giving a non-reciprocity approach. We are adopting that towards our neighbors.
Okay.
So that
What
is,
about connectivity? Have we able to ensure a good connectivity with our neighboring countries? What kind of projects are going and their current status?
ma'am, at the Myanmar border, we have the Trilateral highway project between Myanmar, India, and Bhutan.
So what's its operational status as of now?
It is still having some issues, ma'am. The progress is slow. It is a slow-moving project. However, the idea is to.
Any other connectivity project?
We have some bridges with Nepal also, ma'am.
Bridges with Nepal.
Yeah, on the rivers we have.
On which rivers?
On the. I think it was one of the tributaries of Koshi, ma'am. I will once.
Okay. No other connectivity project comes to mind.
With Bangladesh, we are having a bus route to go to Tripura via Dhaka. So that is one, ma'am, and so that's all I can recall right now.
Okay, no problem. My last question to you.
Sure, ma'am.
If I ask you to define your vision for 21st century women of India, how would you define and summarize it briefly?
Ma'am, so briefly to say, 21st century has a huge potential for the country with women at the leadership. We have recently seen in the crisis of pandemic and other things, women leaderships at countries like Germany, New Zealand, etc., and Taiwan have shown many good projects or good policies. So in handling with these crises. So I think women empowerment, keeping in mind the economic participation, political participation, as well as their healthcare needs, should be a top priority.
Okay, my last question. What is the current LFPR in female population?
It is about 20%, ma'am.
And what was it in 2005 or 2000, for that matter, if we compare?
It was higher, I believe, ma'am. I do not recall the exact figure.
It was higher. So again, my last question to you. What could be the reasons of this decrease?
Ma'am, I believe one could be that with increasing
Educational levels.
and education levels.
Other than that?
Other than that, ma'am, there is a lot of migration, internal migration in India, especially after marriage or usually after marriage, ma'am. Okay. So due to the current social setup, the woman migrates to the husband's place, and so there may be some time required to adjust and go to a new job. So
that is very innovative thinking. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, Abdul.
Sir.
Abdul, recently, if you follow, some developments, CJI Ramanna,
Sir.
Justice Ramanna, he has made a statement that one should be mindful of Lakshman Rekha while performing their duties.
Sir.
In what context he has made this statement?
Sir, it is about the overlapping between judiciary and executive, sir. So the separation of power should be respected by both the organs is the context.
Right. So he has also expressed some concerns about the misuse of the PIL. He has also stated that PIL, public interest litigation, has turned out as personal interest litigation.
Sir.
How we can, check these personal interest litigations, from, public interest litigation? Any case, that comes into mind which could be termed?
Sir, recently, I think yesterday or day before, the Allahabad High Court has said that don't make a mockery of the PIL to the petitioners about the Taj Mahal case. So that's what I can quote about the case. Regarding checking of PIL, sir, PIL has been a very important tool over the last few years or couple of decades. So,
can you tell me, how it has got originated? PIL, the whole process of the PIL, from where it has got originated, the case of the PIL.
Sir, the Kesavananda Bharati case had talked about judicial review doctrine,
but not the PIL. Anyways, it has been widely seen that vulnerable sections in society are being overwatched. Actually, the percentage of the population of those marginal section of societies and their locking up into the jail is disproportionate. I mean to say, they are more in jails as per their percentage in the population, isn't it? So, has the state is overwatching them? Are you getting my point? Like minorities, like SCs, STs, OBCs, they are more in jail and representing more numbers, as part of their population. So how the perception about how the state is behaving against them?
Sir, I am not aware about the this fact, sir. So on an objective basis, I do not know what the reasons could be. So I think I will refrain from saying.
Not an issue. Abdul, tell me about the Ayushman Bharat Digital Mission.
Sir.
And how it, you can say, integrate with the digital health mission of India.
Sir, I do not know the particulars of this.
Not an issue. Abdul, tell me about, there are the two terms. One is the majority in the parliament and second is the majoritarianism. Are these two terms refer the same meaning or having a distinct connotation?
Sir, from my understanding, majority in the parliament is the more seats of a party.
Right.
Majoritarianism could mean that the interests of majority community are being getting exceedingly more importance as compared to others.
Do you feel that some signs of the majoritarian culture is being visible in India?
Sir, I believe there are adequate checks and balances for this in terms of our judiciary, the four pillars, the media, judiciary, political and permanent executive. So I think there may be cases, but there are adequate checks and balances for that. I do not see there as a whole trend in particular.
Abdul, you have spent a good number of years in America.
Sir.
Do you remember the national anthem of America? Have you ever, care about what could have been?
No, sir. I do not know, sir.
Okay, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Abdul.
Sir.
You're from mathematics, right?
Sir.
Tell me, the basic thing, when we, for example, say, let ABC is a triangle, you must have seen geometry thing. Let ABC is a triangle, let AB is a line segment. Why let? Why not ABC is a triangle?
Sir, because, perhaps it is because that we are talking about theory of some problem and we are assuming they're a triangle and doing the calculations about that.
But why do we need to assume that ABC is a triangle rather than saying as a statement of fact that ABC is a triangle? It has to do with the nature of geometry. It has to do with the nature of mathematics. Think over it.
Sir, I'll think more after I go back, definitely.
Okay, then let's talk something that's there in your syllabus. You must have done linear programming.
Yes, sir.
What exactly is duality?
So, duality is a concept in which there is a primal problem of optimizing a given situation and its objective function. The duality is its dual nature, in which we have changed the objective function to minimize it, and we arrive at the optimal solution, and this optimal value will be same for both cases.
Okay. Will there always be a duality to a given equation or not necessarily?
Sir, it depends, sir. No, not always. If the problem is unbounded in its constraints, so then it may not have a dual value which exists. We can represent it using variables and the constraints and the objective function. However, the solution may not be arrived due to the nature of the primal problem.
Fine, Abdul. Nice talking to you. Your interview is over. You can go now.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir.
Take a seat, Abdul.
Thank you, sir.
Abdul, what was your score last time?
173, sir.
173. And you missed by how many marks?
10 marks.
10 marks. And how is your mains this time?
Better than last time, sir.
It's covering at least those 10 marks?
Hopefully, sir. Yes.
Since you have already faced the interview, so you are aware, tell me, how is your performance today?
Sir, I felt a little energy level I could improve.
Right.
For some reason, I was feeling low energetic. That's what I felt once I left the room, that I could have been more energetic. Other than that, some content-wise, some questions I could brush up about the content and better answer that.
See, Abdul, we do remember your last interview that we took, and also you've already faced the interview, so your assessment is also important, and our understanding is in line with what you're thinking. You're a very good candidate. You studied from nice institutions, and your personality is well groomed.
Sir.
It very clearly reflects. You also have good communication skills. Your entry is good. Your sitting posture is good. Voice level in general is good. Hand movement is restricted. Eye contact is also good. Flow is there. So both verbal, non-verbal communication parameters, you're doing fine. But you're right that at few places it appears that you let the board go in a routine way rather than actually taking this lead and infusing some energy into it. My advice will be that keep a happier face. That will be definitely in your favor. And also maybe at a few places you can use the volume modulation in a way that the energy is infused again. You should take up this responsibility and that the conversation is more energetic. Otherwise, in general, on the factual front and the analytical front, you're doing things right. There was balance of judgment wherever the opinion-based questions were thrown at you. At a few places, it appears that you were skirting a particular issue or not. But I'll say that let it go that way only. I mean, don't be overboard with the certain areas when it comes to the opinion thing. Other things, because you're already handling well. So in general, the understanding about your analysis will in any case will be good about you. So there's no point taking extra risks, right? Other things, in general, you're handling well. My only concern is that you're looking less energetic than last time. And also, I mean, it should appear that you were looking forward to this conversation and should appear happier. That's the only area where you need to work. There was a little hand clasping thing, but that's okay. But if you can avoid it, it will be better, right? Other things are in place. Don't worry about it. Look at the areas where, see, there is a possibility because there are a couple of landmines in your DAF, right? It can go US way, it can go transportation things and all. So I'm sure you're already prepared for these things, but if you believe that you need a brush up, you still have a few hours with you. do that work. Other things are in place. So just enjoy the conversation, right?
Sure, sir. Sure.
All the best.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir.